I just have two slides without much words to go with them. The first slide shows 3 patients that are in their chronic atrophic phase. The first one had non-arteritic ischemic optic neuropathy. The second one had compression with a lot of loss of both ganglion cell and nerve fiber layer. And the last one had a prior right optic neuritis with pretty significant nerve fiber layer and ganglion cell loss. And they all had 20/20 vision, which in a way tells me that if the OCT is normal and you have bad vision, yes, that's hopeful. But also, if you have very bad thinning of the structure of the eye, that's not hopeless either. I think there's also evidence that you can have good visual function in spite of that, which is incredible. I'm going to show the second slide, which is part of a study that Hannah Bibi did with us when she was a fellow. Next slide, please. And what I'm showing here is a number of eyes in each of these different categories. And these are violin plots, which show the frequency distribution of how good the logMAR visual acuity is. On the other axis, you can see kind of the Snellen equivalence as a function of how thin the ganglion cell layer is. Now, what I want you to notice is in the very thin ganglion cell bins, 45 microns, 55 microns, 65, there's a huge range of what vision you can have with that amount of thinness, no matter what the type of optic neuropathy. I think if you ask most neuro-ophthalmologists, the standout cases are autosomal dominant optic atrophy. Those patients have almost no ganglion cell layer, and they have almost normal visual fields sometimes and normal vision. So in a way, this is a good thing in my mind. First of all, it gives you give the patient some hope. In spite of the structural loss, they may still have good vision. But in the future, it's also a therapeutic opportunity. Because why should someone that has such a thin nerve fiber layer still be able to have good visual function? What is their brain doing to compensate for that decreased input to the brain, and they can still maintain good visual function? Why can some patients do that and others can't? And this may be a place where neuromodulation in the future may be able to help increase these connections to improve vision in spite of structural loss. So I think it's an opportunity of the future, and it gives me hope. Even though structural thinning may be bad, it still may end up with good vision.